Good morning.
Good morning.
The panel has reconvened. My name is Pearl Wise. To my left is Mr. Freeman. To my right, Freeman to my left is Mr. Roche. We comprise your panel. Let me explain the process to you. I'm going to read some information into the record. Afterwards, we're going to conduct the interview with you, starting with Mr. Freeman. After we finish our interview, we do have some participants today. We're going to give them an opportunity to speak. Then we're going to ask the warden to give us any comments that he want to make. And before we vote, you have the final say. You tell us what you want us to know, and then we'll render a decision. You understand the process?
Yes, ma'am.
Good, good. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Good, good, good. Let me call out our visitors that we have here. We have Miss Juanita Taylor-Jones. She's the victim's wife, and she will be speaking. We have Miss Alice Hardison with the DA's office. And we also have Mr. Billy Harrington with the DA's office, and he will be speaking. I just want you to be aware of who all else is participating today. Let me read the information into the record. Okay, I'm gonna start up here. Your name is Ricky R. Lewis. Your DOC number is 251788. Your current offense is armed robbery. You were sentenced on May 13th of 1996, and your total DOC time is listed as 45 years. Your parole eligibility date is listed as August the 10th of 2015. Your good time date is listed as May 26th of 2040. And your full term date is listed as August the 9th of 2040. That sounds about right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Lewis, how old are you?
57.
Okay, and how long have you served on this charge?
27 years.
Okay. You pled guilty as a result of a plea bargain, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the plea bargain, what did that got you a reduced sentence?
Did it get you a reduced sentence, the plea bargain?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me exactly what happened. What went on with between y'all and Mr. Trail?
Well, me and 3 more other co-defendants decided to rob Mr. Traylor. And at the time, I myself and another one of my co-defendants, Richard D. Harbley, was in the car with Mr. Traylor. And I was in the back seat with Mr. Traylor in the back seat while Mr. Harbley was driving. And Mr. Traylor had grabbed Richard D. Harbley while he was driving the car. And at that time, Richard D. Harbley, he shot Mr. Traylor twice. So,
Yes, how did Mr. Traylor grab him if you had already duct taped him and gagged him?
yes.
How did he grab
So,
him?
No, that took place at his house.
But when he was in the car, he was still gagged, wasn't he?
Yes, sir.
He was still tied up?
Yes.
Well, so there's no way he could have grabbed him.
No, his hand was in front of him with tape on it. And Mr. Trailer was sitting behind him. I was sitting over to the passenger side. Mr. Trailer arm was still duct taped like this. Therefore, he lunged forward, put his arm around Mr. Harbley while he was driving. So the car at the same time was swerving, you know, going all across the road. And Mr. Trailer still, you know, had his arm around it, you know, tussling with him. Mr. Harvey grabbed this pistol and he reached backwards and started firing shots. He fired about 2 or 3 shots and he hit Mr. Harvey. Me, I thought I hit Mr. Trailer.
So what was y'all plan? Y'all plan was to rob him?
Yes.
But what you were gonna do with the money? Were you on drugs or alcohol?
At that time, I was on drugs and alcohol, but we were planning the robbery.
All right. Did you have you ever taken any treatment for drugs, alcohol since you've been incarcerated?
Yes, I took a substance abuse program in Winfield.
Okay, how long ago was that?
Well, let's see. I came to the way May 8th, 2010.
Looking at the law enforcement opposition, the judge is opposed. The district attorney is opposed and is here today to speak. The sheriff of Natchitoches Parish is opposed. The chief is opposed. Your family, your mother is unopposed. And your sister, Miss Tina Law, is unopposed. The victim is opposed, and I think they're going to be here to make a statement also. So, well, victim's wife. Okay. You have any children?
Yes, 2 daughters.
Okay. Do you have any contact with your children?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How old were you when you committed this offense?
29.
Are you old enough to know better?
Yes.
Your criminal history, looks like you've had a couple periods of supervision, which were, one was closed unsat, and the others you completed. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You have a lot of arrests. Your arrest history started back in 1980. Do you remember your arrest for aggravated battery and simple criminal damage to property way back in 84? Do you recall that incident?
Yes, yes, sir. I have had a lot of arrests, but it was never any action, you know, taken up on them.
Correct. You're only a second felony offender, so you've only been convicted of 2 felonies. I was just trying to get an idea of where the anger comes from. I see there's a lot of fighting, a lot of disturbing the peace. Have you taken classes for your anger?
Yes, sir.
Anger management in 2012, what that taught you?
I didn't understand what you said.
What did you learn in anger management class? What did it teach
I learned that if I would have not been up under the influence of alcohol or drugs, I wouldn't probably, had that rage or would have been in anger at the time. And the reason why I was angry or rage because I felt alone when my kid's mother died when she had our second kid. And so at that time, to be honest with you, I didn't really care too much more about life. And I just felt alone because me and my kid mother was real close. And that was my first, that was kind of like my first love, you know what I'm saying? And when she left, I felt like the whole world was, and it wasn't no sense in the living. I just out there, running wild and stuff.
Okay, what's gonna be your transition plan? Where are you gonna live?
I had took the initiative to join a lieutenant house. You probably have that already in your record. I took the initiative to join a lieutenant house or no excuse re-entry program in Houston, been approved for it and everything to try to, continue my rehabilitation for society.
Looks like you got 34 write-ups. Your last write-up was in, when was your last write-up? 2018. It was a 30C. What was that about?
That was about I supposed to have I was working on the night shift over there in the working cell blocks, and I supposed to have some loose tobacco products, to distribute in the blocks. At that time, the inmate, when a tobacco product was forbidden for me to have at that time working in that facility. And so they found some loose tobacco product, packed up, like ready to be distributed. So
Mac, you're a member of Toastmasters, Caro, and multiple Bible studies. Are you still members of that?
Yes, yes. Matter of fact, I just completed a Bible program right here in Baton Rouge, and I'm waiting on a certificate now.
by correspondence?
By correspondence.
Yeah,
Okay, what?
we didn't take them to Baton Rouge for the program.
Okay. Warden, we could well, let me ask you one more question, Mr. Lewis. Do you consider yourself a drug addict or alcoholic?
Yes. Yes.
What you plan on doing about it if you get out, besides going to this place in Houston?
Oh, if I'm granted for probation or parole even without the lieutenant project, I would still be trying to seek some kind of help because I had a problem of drinking, and when I drank, I was kind of.
They're both bad. They both can alter your thinking and your judgment.
Yes.
Why should I take a chance on you? Tell me that right now, Mr. Lewis. Tell me, Pete Freeman, why should I take a chance on letting Mr. Lewis out? You've been in jail for 28 years. You were 29 years old when this happened.
Yes.
So you were old enough to know better. Tell me, why should I take a chance?
Because I just really think I deserve another chance, like, like the next man. I'm just, all I'm asking is for a chance, a second chance that I can improve myself, that I'm fit and ready for society, that I'm not the same person. I'm not the same person.
Okay, let me ask you this. If you had the opportunity to speak to the victim, tell us, board, what you would say to them, to the victim and the community, your family.
I would really tell her, if face to face, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what I done to your family, and I wish you would forgive me, as I have forgave you, and I have forgave myself for what I did. But like I said, I was with 3 other guys, but that's no excuse, because I would take on full responsibility for my act. Like you said, I knew better. I had the opportunity to either lead this act of bad conduct alone, or go with it. So I made a choice and went along with it. The reason why I made a choice, because at that time, I didn't want the guys to feel like, well, you're a coward. I'm afraid that they would have did me something, because I knew too much. I knew what they were about to go on to do. So still me saying, no, I'm not, just pull over, let me get out the car. They probably would have let me get out, but I don't think for 1 second that at that time that they're gonna take a chance on me ratting on them or anything like that. So I just went along with it.
Okay, I think you messed up on one of your statements, and I just want to clarify. You said you forgave the victim. Why would you forgive the victim? Or that was a mistake when you said that?
You want them to forgive you like you've forgiven them?
Yeah.
That's what he's asking about.
Yeah,
That's the statement you made.
That's
what did you mean by that? That's what he's asking about.
Do I want them to forgive me for what I've done to
Okay, all right, because I might, maybe I got that confused. Warden, what do you have to say about Mr. Lewis?
Well, Ricky Lewis been at this institution since 2010. Mr. Freeman, he's got a good conduct record. He got his GED while he was incarcerated prior to coming here. He got that at Winfield. He's been participating in the program, victim awareness. He recently completed that, like 2021. He's completed our 100-hour reentry program. He's participated in AA and other substance abuse programming. Toastmasters, y'all mentioned all those, plus he's been active in the faith-based programming at the institution. he and I've had conversations about his during his incarceration, and he's expressed remorse for the crime he's committed. He's expressed remorse for some of the decisions he made early in life, and he's matured a lot. He's much older than he was, even though 29 is pretty mature, but he's grown up a lot in prison, and he does have the approval of the. He has the interstate compact to Texas approved to the lieutenant's house, no excuse reentry program in Houston, Texas. And that's his reentry plan. And he's talked to me about continuing with substance abuse programming too. He kind of touched on that a minute ago, but he knows he's going to have to continue to go to AA and other things if he's given the opportunity to go to the lieutenant's house in Houston. He understands that he's going to have to continue with substance abuse treatment probably for the rest of his life. But he hadn't done bad time here, Mr. Freeman. He's taken advantage of some things. He's improved himself a lot since he's been here, since he came to us from Winfield. So he's used his time at this institution to better himself. And like I say, he has expressed remorse for his crime to me. He didn't convey that very well earlier when he was talking to you. He asked that the family forgive him, but he's made those statements to me as well over the years that he's very sorry for what he's done and wished he could change things that he's done in the past. He's very remorseful for a lot of his actions. So I think he's done well at this institution. I don't have any other comments, Mr. Freeman, unless you have any other questions.
Thank you, sir. I have no further questions.
Mr. Lewis, the records show that you went to the 10th grade. Were you in regular classes when you were in school, or were you in special ed classes?
No, I was in regular class. Okay.
All right, good. You said you were 29 and there was 3 other guys involved. Were you the youngest or the oldest? How did you relate in terms of age with the other guys?
No, I was the oldest. My cousin, Joel Walker, my cousin, I was the oldest out of all of them.
Okay.
At the time.
Okay, everybody was in there. What age group they were in?
Repeat the question.
About how old cousins were. If you 9, everybody else in the car, how old were they?
18, 27, 20, 23, something like in that range.
18, 27, 23, and you were 29. Okay.
Yeah, but I was the oldest out of all of them.
Okay.
Who was the leader of the pack? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I mean, who's the planner? Who's the man in charge of this operation?
Richard D. Harbley.
So you find how old was he? Which one is that? What age group was that one? Richard.
I almost say I really don't know his exact age.
I know you're guessing, but was he the 18-year-old, the 27-year-old, or the 23-year-old?
27-year-old.
So Richard was the next oldest. Okay. And my final question to you, I saw that you did Kairos weekend number 33. What did you learn in Kairos?
I learned mostly about Christian love, and about family love, about family.
Okay. All right, good. Was Kairos able to reach your daughters when you went through Kairos? Did they get a letter from your daughters?
Can you repeat the question?
You did Kairos weekend. Were they able to get a letter from your daughters?
Yes.
They did?
Yes, ma'am.
You were able to read the letter from your daughters?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right then. That's all I had. All right. Okay. All right. At this time, we're going to hear from the opposition. We can start with Mr. Harrington.
Good morning. Mr. Harrington had to leave out. He's at a trial we're having here, a murder trial. So he's at the courtroom right now, but Miss Traylor is here. And we're the only ones that's going to speak this morning.
It's me.
Mr. Harrington did leave word that he's in opposition of Mr. Lewis being released.
Ma'am. Is there anything else you would like us to know?
Ms. Traylor is going to speak.
Okay. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This doesn't get easy. I know it's been 28 years, but it doesn't get any easy. And now I'm coming every 2 years for this parole hearing. I do know that this man had an opportunity, even though wrong had been done. You had the opportunity to save Steve Traylor's life after everything went wrong, after he was abducted from his own home and carried to a trash compact station, a dump station, bound, gagged, and shot to death. I do know that Mr. Lewis was one of the men who hit him in the head with the gun, the butt of the gun. You carried him away from his own home and brought him to a trash dumpster. He begged before Mr. Lewis walked away and walked 30 miles to Coshada. Mr. Lewis was the last person to be there with Steve Traylor as Steve begged for help. And Mr. Lewis turned his back and walked away. You had done wrong, but you still had the opportunity to do right. Steve may have been alive today if he had gotten the help he actually needed. I have 4 daughters. 4. I can sit here and I can tell you how stressed out I was with babies at 4 of them to raise alone with no dad. I can tell you how I couldn't sleep at night. I can tell you how I couldn't eat every day, weight up and down. I could sit here and tell you all of the things that I had anger. Yes, I had anger inside of me, but I didn't go out here and harm nobody. I got on my knees and I asked the Almighty to help me through this. I didn't take my anger out on anybody else. Not only do you have to worry about looking over your shoulder if Mr. Lewis come out, the young lady who turned him in had children. I'm sure she don't want to look over her back that she had this man put in jail. This man had threatened her and her children, babies. So you mean to tell me you would take anger out on little ones? My daughters missed out on a whole lot. I had to hide them from the media so that they could have a normal life. in this town. This is a small town. And everybody seems to know everybody's business but their own. While they search for the killers of Steve Traylor, people accused me, the man I love, my best friend, my husband, my spouse, my children's father, for 2 months, accusations accused me of having something to do with it. I will never feel like 45 was too easy. 45, and that was a plea bargain you agreed to. Mr. Lewis agreed to it, to get a lesser sentence. He agreed that when the other 3 men were to come to trial, that he would come and he would tell. He agreed to it. But what was done and what was said was to get on the stand, and the favorite words were, "I don't recall." You mean to tell me you have destroyed a person's life, several people's lives, but you don't recall what took place? You even had the audacity to tell the attorneys when the question was asked, "Is this going to be your answer each time?" Mr. Lewis' words were, "Exactly." He said one word, exactly. He had no intention of helping convict anybody. Do we really get rehabilitated? And then how easy is it that if we take one sip, if alcohol was the reason that all transpired, how easy is it to put in your mind that you may want to have revenge? I've forgiven Mr. Lewis for all the heartaches and pains. And like I said, I could tell you the things that I went through, but you didn't wear the shoes, and it's hard to feel another person's pain. Yes, you can say you got a little sympathy, but you don't know half of the story. When you can't, it's only 24 hours in a day, and you try to sleep 4 because you're working 20 and you're struggling 2 jobs and raising 4 kids. We have people now, children killing children out here in the streets. The system struggles to get them off the street, and then we fight to put them back out there. It's a cruel world out here today. And if you don't hear nothing else, please hear this. No matter how many times I got to come here, my story is going to be the same. My story will always be this. I will always speak for the dead. He was a good man, and he did not deserve to die that way.
Mr. Harrington is here now. He came out.
Yes, ma'am. We're here. Thank you, Ms. Taylor. We appreciate you.
Yes,
appreciate you, President.
Good morning.
Yes,
and as you already know, our office is strongly opposed to this parole. In my 33 years as being an assistant DA or DA in this office, this is one of the most heinous cases that this office has ever handled. And Ms. Juanita being one of the most effective victims that we've ever had. And that's why we stand by her. And you can see just from her testimony how effective she still is on a daily basis. And we strongly oppose his parole. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, there's no further testimony to be rendered. So, Mr. Lewis, what do you want us to know before we vote? Your final comments, your final statements.
If you want to make statements, can they're giving the option to make the last statement, final statement.
What I'll say this much, I still take full responsibility for my actions. And the only thing I'm asking is that could you please just give me a second chance to prove myself to society that I'm not the same man. I'm not the same man.
Thank you. Thank you. Panel ready to vote?
Okay, first off, I want to thank the victim for appearing today. I know it takes a lot of, courage to come here, and it is a shame that you have to come every time someone applies, but it's just the laws of our state. So I just wanted to mention that. Mr. Lewis, you received good comments from the warden. The bottom line is you received a big break at plea bar when you took the plea bargain, and you got a 45-year sentence when you could have gotten a life sentence without it. And due to strong victim and law enforcement opposition, I vote for denial.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Mr. Roche?
Mr. Lewis, my vote is the same for the same reasons. You made a deal with the DA's office. You probably would be serving a life sentence, and you have a parole eligibility date, and you have a good time date. The DA's office said this is one of the most heinous crimes you've seen in 30 years. Law enforcement opposition and the adamant opposition from the victim's family, I have no other choice but to deny your request.
Mr. Roche, I have listened intently as well. Is sometimes we get to a point in life where the decisions we made yesterday, it just continues to impact us. There's nothing we can do about it. For me, my vote is to deny as well the strong victim opposition that's been expressed. And you do have a good time date. The nature of the crime and the impact of the crime on the victim and the community. For those reasons, my vote is to deny as well. Best wishes to you, sir, but your parole has been denied today.
Thank you, Ms. Wise.
Thank you, Mr.